Welcome to Parent Coaches Unleashed, the podcast where we dive into the highs, lows, and did that really just happen moment of parenting teens and young adults. We're Carrie and Jessica, parent coaches, mythbusters, and occasional referees in the battle of hormones versus common sense.
If you've ever wondered, is this just happening to me? You're not alone. We're here to help you with real talk, expert advice, and hopefully a few laughs along the way. Need more support? We also offer private coaching, workshops, and speaking engagements because sometimes even parents don't have all the answers.
So continue listening as we tackle this parenting journey together.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed. Hi, Carrie.
Hi there.
How are you today?
I am great. You know, it's May. It's my birthday month, so
Yay.
it's always good.
Happy birthday month to Carrie.
Thank you. But it's also, what is May?
Oh my gosh,
May is also could be
May
the end of a
is-
school year. It could be kids are changing up their routine. College kids are coming home. You know, May's like that transition month. Or is it really June? May, June?
It's so funny. I saw a funny quote the other day. It said, May is like December in a tank top. Like all the craziness that goes on, like all the end of the for parents who have kids that are still in school. So May is testing, May is winding down a school year, May is end of year teacher gifts if you partake in that. May is graduations, getting ready for proms. It's bringing college students home from school. It's being inundated with all of their stuff.
Yep.
And it's readjusting your family dynamic if you have college-age kids returning home for the summer, even if it's for a month before they go on to whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah.
So that's what
we're talking about today.
And that is where I'm living right now. So
you're sitting in it.
I am sitting in it, literally sitting in it. And I feel like, so Avery graduated on Sunday. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations to Avery. Just as a complete side note, saying that you have a college graduate feels so strange. You know, we talk about all these milestones, and I feel like when you see these posts on social media, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're here already. It happened in the blink of an eye. Or, you know, all of these sayings that imply how fast time is going. But oh my gosh, like it's not just how quickly those 4 years went or how quickly the past 21 years went that we're at this stage now, but it's a whole new stage in life. Like I feel like I truly have an adult child now.
Yeah.
Because she is a college graduate. It's not just they turn this arbitrary number of 18 and all of these other rules fall into place as an adult, but now her life is about to begin. So it feels so much more than the other milestones for some reason.
Yeah. Imagine how it feels to be that age again, to be the young adult, right? Like as exciting as it is, right? Because when you go off to college, even though you don't understand really what's coming, right? You have an idea of college and classes. And even though you have to create your own structure, there's still a little bit. Now, graduating and moving out into the real world, like that's scary. Like, and a lot of kids nowadays, they don't have a plan. They don't know exactly what it's going to look like, even if they know I'm going to get a job or I'm going to look for a job or I'm going to apply to graduate. Like,
but then you have the whole fear of interviewing.
Scary.
Like, what does that look like? You know, especially from kids coming off the era of being on their phones and having social media, and we worry about COVID and their social skills and their interactions with other people.
Mhm.
It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's a whole new set it's a whole new ball game for them.
I
Whole new
kind of
set of
feel like
rules.
it's maybe the very first time that the parents not holding their hand in any way. I mean, yes, you might be able to practice interviewing skills or
Right,
help them with their resume, but you're not making any phone calls for them. You're not going to an interview with them. Like when they went to college, you assisted them at orientation or you went along, or
right.
like, this is that first moment where it's like, it's all on them.
Yep.
It is all on them. So, how do we like, I feel like we should be like sighing, like relief, like, oh my God, made it. We're
You know,
finally here. But I don't know that it feels that way.
I it feels like a whole new set of anxiety for us because we're sending them out. We wanna know that they're doing well, but there's also here's the I feel like I have so much I wanna tell them before they go out into the world, like, but the truth is it doesn't matter what I say because it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what my parents said to me. I had to figure some things out for
Yeah.
myself. You want so much to protect them from pain and getting hurt and from failure, but the
Hmm.
truth of the matter is that goes into making them the adult they're going to be.
Yeah. I think in this situation, like less is more,
Yeah,
right? I'm so super proud of you and we're here for you no matter what, right? You just we're
right,
confident in you. We're here. Let us know what we can do. Not, what are you going to do? Did you do this? Are you going to
right,
do this? What's this going to look like? What's your
right.
time frame? Right?
The questionings,
They have
the
so, like,
questions.
they already
Mhm.
have this all going on in their head.
Yes,
So we don't need to add to it, even though we're going to sit there at night spinning in our own head
of
about these
course.
thoughts and questions and did they do this or how's
Right.
it going? But
And it's okay. It's okay for you to have those questions.
yeah.
It's okay for you to talk to your friend about them. It's okay for you to talk to your partner about them. But just adding the stress of your questions and your anxiety and your what ifs to your child, it's it's not going to
Yeah.
bode well for you.
No.
And I have to tell you, I'm running into a little bit of that right now.
Okay.
Not with Avery. I'm going to pause for 1 second because I just want to add the one thing I did say to Avery, the one piece of advice. I'm sure I gave her much more than one piece, but for me, my favorite thing that I said to her was, now is the time to make yourself as big as possible. Now is not the time to put yourself in one small place. It's your time to see what is out there. Like, never again will you have this experience to be a college graduate and see what opportunities are out there in the
Mhm.
world. Don't limit yourself to one specific area. And we're talking location for jobs
Okay.
just because it's close to home or it's close to friends or it's close to a boyfriend. Now is your time to go out there and experience the world.
Right.
See what's out there for
Good
yourself.
advice.
And doesn't mean you can't come home. It doesn't mean you can't end up back here. But if you don't take the chance if you don't take the chance now, how will you know? You have nothing
Yeah.
tying you down. I don't know. I don't know if that is advice for everybody or it just felt important to say to her.
So I was talking to one of my sons and I was trying to get some insight in this topic. And the one thing that stood out to me that he said is the person that they were when they left to start college and the person they are leaving college, coming home or going wherever they're going for their, the start of their career or whatever's coming next. They are a very different person. And so to not expect that same person with the same behaviors is coming back.
To
Like,
me, that's success though. Isn't that what you want?
well,
It shows growth. I mean, you're not come you want them to learn and you want them to grow and you want them to evolve. I
Right.
can say this, I look at Avery and I can say the same thing, like, she is not the same person who started college, but that's a great
Exactly.
question to ask her, but she's and I why should you be? 4
Right.
years, although it went like that, it is still a substantial amount of time to experience and to grow and to figure out who you are, what you
Yeah.
like, what you don't like, people you wanna be around, not be around.
I mean, that's outside of the achievement of the degree. I think to me, that's what I'm most proud of. The growth and independence that was
Yes.
found along the way. Here's the question. Have we as parents changed our thinking and our ways and changed as much as our children have to be ready to accept them, whoever they are?
I think that's a part that I think you bring up a really good point because here's why. In those years that they're in college, like from 18 to 22, let's just call it. I know it's
Mhm.
give or take on every end for your child. Their brains are still developing.
Yeah.
They are still growing. They have the room for that growth, and that is what that time is for them. For us, we're eh, we're not. Like, we like to say we're growing and we're evolving and we find new ways to interpret information and how to deal with it, but that's their time for them. That's what they're supposed to be doing. So I think for parents, a lot of us get stuck in
Mhm.
that who they were 4 years ago. And I think we need to realize that we need to acknowledge their growth, their independence, and treat them more as an adult than that 18-year-old teenager that they left as.
Right. And I think we also have to let go of what our expectations are or were when they left
100%.
at 18 and not get caught in the cycle of social media and comparison with what other of our friends or coworkers kids are doing at a similar age, right? It's very difficult to look out there and be like, well, wait a minute, they graduated or they got the master's degree and now they have the big job and now they're moving to California or and oh, okay, so my child graduated but they're back home and they're interviewing for jobs and it's been 6 months and they haven't got, so we have to slow down the timetable or not have the timetable for what their next steps are going to be and what that's going to look like. And it sounds really easy to do, but it's very difficult when, and even their friends, right? They may
Yeah.
themselves start to panic when it's taken them longer to get a job than they expected, or what's wrong with me, or, and are we still on the Facebook groups of the colleges and listening to what
Right, and
Cambridge
watching what
is
everyone else.
saying,
Yeah, mhm.
or
Well,
right?
I
Like
right.
that, it's it's challenging. It's almost like as parents, okay, maybe we need to like check out for a little bit, right? Like, okay, they graduated, you had your celebrations, now just back off. Don't, be on social media comparing and looking and seeing and having expectations and, almost just like relax, let them celebrate. I mean, 4 years growing, developing, being on their own. A lot of them had really hard majors, worked so, so hard. And now it's like, okay, they're allowed to take a breath. They're allowed to take a breath for a little bit and at least have a plan for what's coming next.
Do you think as a parent you should have a time limit on that breath? Like, all right, it's been 3 months, what's going on? Or it's been 6 months.
All right, so I guess it depends on the financial situation and the living situation, right? If they on their own decided to not come back home and go get an apartment with friends from college and look for jobs, right? Are they funding it or are you funding it? Or are they back home in your house to take a break? Like, or are they going traveling? I think I don't know if there's one answer,
Right. Mhm.
but if you have no financial involvement whatsoever, who's to say that we should have any say or timetable on what they do next?
Right.
As long as they're paying their own way and figuring it out. Now, if you are paying their way and supporting them, yes, I think it's important to have a conversation like how long, what's the expectation? We will pay, you can live at home for X amount of time, or we will pay your rent for X amount of time, and then you're on your own. If you don't get your dream job in 6 months or a year, whatever, okay, then you'll have to have some job because now we're no longer going to pay your rent
Right.
or,
I also
yeah.
think it's okay to say, while you're looking for that dream job, what's your plan to support yourself?
Mhm.
There are plenty of jobs out there that you can go work at. Go work at Home Depot, go get a job as a server, whatever it is. There
Yeah.
are jobs that will allow you to still continue searching and interviewing for jobs
Yeah.
while
I
you
would
still support
I would
yourself.
say if they're coming back home to live in your house and you are going to support them, I think having the conversation upfront about all the things.
Yeah. Mhm.
What are the rules in the house now? Is it just a free for all? Who's doing the grocery shopping and the cooking? Like
Right.
all those things because they've changed. I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that when they were 17, you did the grocery shopping for them, you cooked for them. Now that they're 22 and they're coming back, is that the way it still works? Or now they're going to be responsible for getting their own groceries, or you'll have whatever you normally had for you and your partner in your house. And if they want something different, they can go get it. Like, are you going
Right.
to ask them for a grocery list to go shop for them? I don't think so.
Well, but whether you are or you're not, I mean, I think those are the expectations you need to speak with your
Yeah.
child about when they're moving home, if that's what they choose to do. Because having a clear set of expectations will make the living situation better for everyone involved.
Yeah. Well, let's also talk about too, like we're talking about graduation, but what about they're just college kids home for the summer? Like between
Yes,
freshman and
right.
sophomore year or junior and whatever it is, they're back home for 2 months or
Right.
3 months, whatever it is.
So this is I think how we started out. Just we were about to veer off into this before. That's where I am with my middle guy, with Cody.
Okay.
He's home from college. And I just want to give a shout out to Cody because he packed himself up. He cleaned out his apartment and he brought everything that he needed home. He put whatever he needed to in the storage unit and he took care of it on his own. So I am proud of him for doing that. And I am confident that moving forward, wherever he ends up, that at least he has the skill of packing
Packing
and
and moving.
right down. Now unpacking is a different
Okay.
different topic. He did I think he I let him have all of he came home with all of his, those blue IKEA bags that he packed in. And the first day he was home, we together organized the garage of the things he would not need while he was home and found them a place in the garage to be out of the way. His clothes and his toiletries and the things he does use on a regular basis, he told me he was going to do it and organize everything. And for a week, I let him. And he literally took over the entire hallway upstairs as well as his room. Everything was just spilled out and overflowing. And I left it for a week. And I gave him a time frame. I said, "You just need to have this cleaned up by Tuesday." And he said, "Okay." When we hit the
So what
week
happened when Tuesday came?
well, it didn't happen on Tuesday. It hit the week mark, and he came to me and he said, "I'm a little overwhelmed. I tried to do everything all at once. Do you think you could help me?"
Okay.
And I did. And I went and I helped him. And, he had already gone through all of his stuff that was in the room and put it out for donation. He just needed help organizing and finding a place for everything in his room to go. And we did it together and all was good. I will tell you where we are running into a problem, and it's something we touched on, the questioning.
Oh,
Um,
you meaning you asking too many
yes,
questions of
yes,
him
yes,
or
yes,
to him?
about
Okay.
his plans, about who he's contacted, about who he's reached out to for job opportunities,
Yeah.
and I keep having to bite my tongue
Mm.
and remember not to ask him. If it's s so he has a job, okay? He does have a job, not within his major or anything. He has a job as a
A
food
job to
runner,
earn money.
a job to earn money as a food runner at a local eating establishment. Um, the communication has not been 100% clear on their part, so he's unsure of when to come in. So, he's asked my husband for some guidance on that, and he's taken care of that. But for me, I keep saying, "Well, what about your major? What are you doing about that? Who have you reached out to? Have you reached out to them again? Maybe you should send a text to this one. Maybe you should send a text to that one." And Cody was very clear. He said, "I will let you know when something happens. Please
Okay.
stop asking me about it."
All right. Good for him. Good
Yes,
for him for setting the boundary or saying how he really felt rather than just avoiding the conversation.
yes. And then last night I asked him another question at dinner and he shot me a look
Oh,
and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're 100% right. I know we spoke about this and you
yeah.
told me please don't ask. I apologize." I think what it boils down to is that we take our experiences, our life experiences, and we want so much to just make our kids' lives a little bit easier. Just this is what I've learned. Take this piece of information. Use your contacts. Don't give up. You have to be persistent. And we want to take that and just impart it on our kids and have them act on it right away. And it doesn't work that way. Like I said earlier, there's so much that they have to figure out for themselves. And we're here saying it'll be so much easier if you just do it this way. But did we all listen to our parents when they told us? Did we
I don't think that they actually told us. Like, I do not remember having conversations with my parents during the college summer about what I should or shouldn't do. One of the summers I lived in, because my parents had moved to Florida from Chicago when I went to college. So I didn't have a home to go back to if I wanted to go back to
Right,
Chicago
right,
to be
right,
with
right.
my friends. So one of the summers I came to Florida and I'd worked at a day camp, but I knew I had to get a job, but I also wanted to because I didn't know anybody. I wanted to meet people. And then when I did live in Chicago, I ended up staying with a friend's family. So I had to have a job because I needed to pay for gas and I needed to have money for food. Like my mom paid the family like a little bit for something, but like I was on my own. But there wasn't like a conversation. It was almost like I knew that's what I had to do.
Right. So
So
you
I
went out
don't
and
know. I went
you
out and I got a job so that I had money to live on during the summer because I wanted to be in Chicago and not in Florida. But even if I would have come back to Florida, it was the same thing. I wanted Is that the difference? Did we want to get these jobs versus our kids?
well, I think your situation
Maybe,
is a
maybe.
little different because you had no choice. Your parents weren't there. Like what
Okay.
were you gonna do? Just
So
what
that's the choice. So are we giving our kids too many choices or the choice? Do they think that they have a choice here? Like, is it a choice to work or to not work? Or is it a choice to hang out over the summer and not take a break? You know what I mean? Is that what's happening? Are we being,
are we being too soft on them, too
yes,
making it too easy for them?
yes, because it gets back to what you said, and I agree with you, right? Are we trying to make it easier for them, or we think we're making it easier for them by going soft or giving options or giving suggestions. But in the end, are we really like then crippling them? Are they not going to be prepared when it's time to really go out there and fend for themselves? Because here we were with, oh, did you do this? Oh,
Right.
try saying this.
Right.
I mean, I never had a conversation with my mom about how to interview.
Well, it's interesting. I'm sitting here listening to what you're saying, and I had a different experience with my summers in college, and I feel like my parents had connections to get me a job,
Mm,
and that was how I got a job
okay.
for the summer.
But is that the job you wanted?
I didn't even think about what I
No,
wanted.
you're
It
just
it
like,
it was
okay.
just like so and so has a job for you, at whatever it was. There was one person, I was a camp counselor, and you would think that those are easy ones, that you can go to any of these places and get a job as a camp counselor, but they knew someone who was running a day camp out of a school, and they're like, so and so has this job, just go talk to them. And I did, and it wasn't like I had to make phone calls and say, "Oh, are you hiring?" I feel like so many of my jobs were because of my connections.
Okay, so hold that for 1 second. Do you think that that now is in play for how you're viewing Cody's summer? Like, would you
Here's the
feel
thing.
better or love to think like you or your husband have connections and here reach out and now you'll have a job? Like,
Here's what I believe, okay? Interviewing is a skill that every child should have.
mhm.
They Even if you have a connection, they still have to be able to close the deal. They have to be able to speak to somebody. They have to be able to have personal skills that will allow them to be hired for the job. But I think it's true even for adults in the world today that it is not just what you know, but it's also who you know. It's about who can help you. I truly believe that.
Our children should take advantage of them
I
if they're
Listen, if
available
somebody's
to them.
saying, I all I'm doing is giving you a number, you can mention my name. Yes,
Okay.
I think that yeah, 100%.
So here's the question. When they don't do that,
Right.
they don't do it on your time frame, what do you think that that's saying? Like that they really don't want to? Are they afraid? Do they not know what to say when they call? Or, right,
I
is
think
it
it could
that,
listen, I think it depends on your kid. You know your child better than anybody. So it could be a mixture of things. It could be embarrassed. It could be I don't know what to say. Where in that respect, I think it's okay to role play with your kid and say, I'm going to have a mock interview with you. I think they might not have any interest in doing what you just set them up to do, and they don't want to. Um, he- I think as a parent, you can tell your kid as much as you want, this is what you should be doing. But in the end, it's up to them to be able to do it. It's
okay,
up
so
to them
should
to
we
take that step.
change the narrative then? Let's say it's beginning of May, they're starting to come home from college. Now, instead of us saying, oh, here, call this one, call that one. I'm going to send you some numbers, or I saw these jobs. Maybe we should just be saying, okay, great. We're so looking forward to seeing you. Please let us know if there's anything we can do to support you
Yeah. I
while
think it's a
you're home, and just
yeah.
leave it.
Or you can leave it at that, or you can maybe even it's a question. Maybe it's, listen, these are the people I know. How involved do you want me to be in helping you find a job? Do you want me to be completely hands off? Do you want me to give you some numbers of people that I know? I am following your lead here. What do you need from me? What support do you need from us? And how involved do you want us to be?
Sounds good. You'll have to let us know how that goes.
I will.
I was always super excited when the kids
Came
came
home.
back from college,
Yep.
right? You miss them. You want to see like the growth, you want
Mhm.
to experience all the how they are now. It's been time since they've been away. And even though you talk to them or text them or FaceTime, it's different when you actually live together
Right.
again
Yep.
because then you see those new habits.
Yep.
Some are good, some are not so good. Um, but the one thing that our issue was always the curfew.
Uh-huh.
And I believe it was probably, I didn't just come up with this on my own. I believe in therapy, and I wasn't in therapy specifically for this issue, but this just happened to come up where it's like, okay, remember, it is your home, right? It is your home. You have to, it's okay for you to get good quality sleep. You have to get up for work, whatever your
Right, right.
routine is. So you get to decide. Just because they were away at college and got used to staying out till 2 and 3 in the morning, like that's their choice when they're living on their own somewhere
Mhm.
else. But when they come back to your house, if that's not, and not every family is different. Some would be okay with it. Whatever,
Right.
like
Uh-huh.
this is what they're used to. I can sleep no matter what. I unfortunately could not. So I just had to make it known, right? If you cannot be home by, and I actually just asked one of my sons, like, do you remember what the arbitrary number was? Was it 1 a.m. or 2 a.m.? He's like,
Right, right, right.
honestly, I don't remember. So I'm just going to go with 1 a.m. If you cannot be back in the home at 1 a.m., then you're going to have to find somewhere else to sleep. Now, I know that might sound really odd to a lot of people because I'm imagining like there he is sleeping in his car on the driveway because he pulled in at 2:15, but that's not how it went. It was one of those like, okay, I need to be home by that time or I'm going to
Or
sleep at a
at a
friend's.
friend. Right, right, right. And did
So,
it
and
work?
it
Did
did,
he listen? Did he
he
did he
did. He did.
honor that boundary that you set?
He did. He was not happy about it. Like he didn't understand it at first. And he was like, usually you're a little bit more lenient. This is, I
Right.
think it's an acceptable time for, for you to be out. And a couple times, I think maybe 2 times during the whole entire, it was either
Curfew.
summer or break. I don't
Right,
remember,
right,
but
right.
whatever,
That he
that he
slept
ended up,
out.
yeah, he slept
S
out.
so I will say that I sleep much better having all 3 of my kids under the same roof. Um, that being said, I think it goes to what we spoke about earlier, your expectations and your boundaries. It needs to be a conversation. I know you're coming home, you're used to this, this, and this, but this is how I envision the summer going. I think it's an open conversation. And if you can't respect that, we have to have a conversation about what will work for everybody here.
Yeah. And I think the first summer, like right when they graduate high school, before they're going to college, sometimes that's a challenging summer too, because they're starting to get the feel of like, oh, well, I'm going to be on my own soon. So they're starting to already act like
Right.
that they're still in your house and requiring more and more, like your rules haven't changed
Right.
because they haven't left yet, but oh, well, I'm 18, I graduated high school. So I'm just going to go do what I want or
Right.
be out late or, whatever it is. I think conversations just need to happen in advance rather than waiting to see how it's going to go.
Right. And your expectations of them, letting
Yeah.
them know up front.
Yeah. So anyway, so are you're now excited that everybody's home or you're like a
I
little
am. I am
in
excited that
between and
everybody's home. I
okay.
love having a full house. There's nothing better than sitting down to dinner with 5 of us. And but it's short-lived. Avery's off to her summer job. So I'm just enjoying them being here. Just enjoying our time together for right now.
Yeah. And if we remember, I got up and moved away from my children. So they're they don't really have I mean, they have a place to come, but it's not their home. So we are in a little bit of flux right now as to, I mean, where my children are living, but we're all figuring it out.
And you're figuring it out together
We're
as a
all
family,
figuring it
and
out.
but it doesn't change the fact that you're still a family, and this 4
No.
of you will still be together and have your time as well.
Yeah. So, interesting times.
Yes, for sure. Well, I will keep you posted on how
Yes.
our summer is turning out.
Let us know how you're feeling about the beginning of summer, and are you looking forward to your children coming home, or are you a little uneasy about how it's going to go? We'd love to hear from you. Reach out, info@parentcoachesunleashed.com, or on Instagram, Parent Coaches Unleashed. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks again for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of Parent Coaches Unleashed with Carrie and Jessica. Together, we can raise the next generation of independent, capable, and compassionate young adults.
We encourage you to send us an email with questions and feedback to info@parentcoachesunleashed.com. Please remember, you are not alone on this parenting journey.